much space does one BMW need? Jesus Christ. Hi guys, Beans here. Welcome back to the channel. This week we find ourselves at Snetterton for our LFM Rookie Series sprint races. And we found ourselves right in the mix here with a P5 quality position. However, as by the intro clip and as you've just seen, we did get punted by the BMW that was behind us. I respected he was there and I left room, but I believe he hit the inside curb and it just bounced him into me. So there's not a lot I could have done there, and probably not a lot he could have done. So now we find ourselves down in P16, right at the back of the pack. Although I wasn't too worried, as I did feel I had good pace around Snetterton, and when it comes to racing, anything can happen. As you can see, a BMW there on the left has spun out, he's hit the curb, and we've already gained one position. Quickly followed by another, all within 3 corners, so I wasn't really too worried, to be fair. So coming up to this corner, the left kink, which I believe is called Hamilton, I kind of struggled with most of the race, if I'm completely honest. It's just one of those corners that you need to be so precise, because if you touch the outside curb, it just unsettles the car so much. Out of Williams, getting a fairly decent drive onto the Bentley straight. You can see up ahead there's a little bit of argy-bargy, people getting their elbows out, trying to give away too many positions, fighting hard to keep their position. Bear in mind this is lap 1 and it's a long race, it's 20 minutes, like anything can happen in these races. And as I'm saying that, the pink Aston's facing the wrong way, there's a BMW on the grass, I've got nowhere to go, so I have to pretty much come to a standstill. I've had to wait for a gap to squeeze my way through. It's absolute carnage. There's a Honda on the right, he almost makes contact with the BMW up ahead as we head round this lofty right-hander. And now as we head onto the centre straight to conclude lap 1, we managed to gain 4 positions from the ones we lost. Managed to get a really good drive out onto the straight, catching the BMW up ahead, which was good for me. Coming into the braking point, I've almost gone into the back of him. I'm not sure if I missed my braking point or he broke a bit too early. And now, speaking of braking points, I nailed this one here, and the Honda behind us just straight up my rear end. Gave me some damage on the rear, and those positions we made up, we've now lost. So, finding ourselves back down into P14. I'm not having a lot of luck this race, as you can see, you know, and at this point I just was contemplating whether to give up. So I'm just checking the MFD to see how much damage I had here, and going into Agostini, the BMW up ahead has made a mistake. So we've managed to just nick that position back for ourselves, putting us into P13 as we round Hamilton. Almost losing the rear end as we head onto the Bentley straight here. I did struggle sometimes when it comes to coming out of Williams onto the Bentley straight, because it was such a momentum corner to get a decent run onto this main straight. I think it was just me being too impatient on the throttle, and ultimately I feel like I was losing a bit of time there. It could have been smoother, if I'm completely honest. This lofty right-hander sort of thing, I kind of struggled with. I think this is quite a technical track, to be completely honest with you. Like this, I was just trying to keep my nose in as close to the white line as I could, but when it comes like coming round onto the braking point, the car was so unstable for me. It could have just been the way I set the car up. It felt okay through most of the corners, but it was just a few that it would feel a bit lively. Up ahead you can see a car has been on, I think it's just went onto the grass there, so kicked up a bit of dust. But we are catching up with the cars ahead of us, which is also always good. After 4.5 minutes into this race, I felt like my race pace was pretty good after considering after the couple of incidents we've had already. Coming around Agostini, getting a decent drive, catching the car up ahead, lowering the gap slightly. As you can see, we were 1.9, and then within a space of a corner we are now 1.5. Go around into Oggies, and yeah, that for me, completely unavoidable. I've now got rear damage and I've got front damage, and I'm just doing donuts, trying to get the car back on the track. Back down into P16, and by this point of the race, I kind of thought about giving up, if I'm like just backing out, but then that has no benefit to me, especially with the series, to go from a rookie license, or go from rookies to having a better license grade. And I felt that this BMW in front of me was holding me up on that corner. I was unsure whether to go deep and go around, but as you can see, he's made a mistake. He's missed his braking marker and he's gone off the track. I do believe he pits after this anyway, so he might have just been let us go. So fast forward now, a few corners around Agostini. I can see the group ahead. I've got my head down. I can see I'm catching up with the group. Go around Hamilton. I run wide. I hit the outside curb, and yeah, this for me was really frustrating. 4th lap in a row. I'm in the grass. This time due to my own mistake. There's no one else at fault, and all I can do is persevere. Managed to get back on the track. Started to go down, start to carry on again. So fast forward a few laps now, and was catching the group. There's been a bit of argy-bargy up ahead. Now the Aston is actually facing the wrong way, so that's a free position I've gained, and I had a good run on the Ferrari up ahead. So I thought about going around the outside, didn't quite have the pace, so I managed to sort of like hold it back in around Coram, and then the Ferrari here has run deep and I've hit the apex, and I've got a better drive out of this corner, so I'm able to take the position on the centre straight, and yeah, he's now behind us, and all we can do now is just put the throttle down, increase the lead, and we'll go from there. Fast forward a few corners on the same lap, and there's more argy-bargy up ahead. Now I'm not sure if you look by the left hand side here, or on the relative, the argy-bargy is between a back marker and the person in 9th position. I don't know what was going through the back marker's head. Like, it's a blue flag, you should move. But ultimately, this causes the BMW to go wide. I don't know if that was strictly down to the Ferrari, or it's just a poor line choice from the BMW. But we overtake him, we gain that position, so we're now up to 9th. We are now in a top 10 position. Bearing in mind, I've come off the track 4 out of 8 laps so far. And then once again, up ahead, a Porsche has made a mistake into around Palmer, so that's given us hope that we can actually gain another position, because the BMW was 8 seconds up, 7th position. He was 8 seconds ahead at this moment in time, and we were definitely catching the Porsche up ahead. So with 3 minutes 20 seconds left to go in the race, I think it's about 2-3 laps, he makes a mistake. He goes wide, which allows us to be able to catch up along the Bentley straight and close the gap. He's currently a second ahead, and then we'll skip forward 1 lap, and you can see that I'd managed to actually close that gap within the lap. So going through Palmer here, there's a back marker up ahead. Now, I don't know what it is with back markers in this lobby, but they just didn't seem to adhere to the blue flag being shown to them. Now, I'm not saying move out of the way, because I'm ahead of you, so I get priority. It's not, but at the same time, there's people behind racing. Luckily, this back marker didn't actually interfere too much with the racing. He was fairly quick, and he probably got a bit unlucky like I did at the beginning. But as you can see, the Porsche, he's run deep a little bit, he's had to slow down, but then I lost the back end, so I had to feather the throttle a little bit, lost me a bit of time on the straight, which is unfortunate. Now up here, the BMW has come off, he's missed his braking point completely and gone straight, so he's had to try and slow down. So for us, that is another position. We're now in P8 after being in P16 on the verge of giving up. We're now in P8, and I'm so glad that we persevered as we head into what's the last 2 laps now in this race. P7, I definitely felt like I was quicker than him. Definitely knew that I could overtake at some point. Just didn't quite know when. So coming into the Riches, we get a really good drive into the straight, into the hairpin, and we managed to get up alongside, and we've outbraked him, and we've managed to get the car stopped right on the apex, so that there's no room for a switchback, and we managed to shut the gap. And basically from here, we just start pulling away. As you can see already, we were a second ahead. Just not really much happened after that. Just going on to the final corner of this race, and we come home in P6, I believe, or did I? Was it P6 or P7? I think it was P7 on the finish. But that concludes today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.